My son, Marcus Ravencroft," the creature continued while its tentacles undulated hypnotically. "3 years ago, near the border." Zhao remembered. A young abyssal, barely transformed, too inexperienced to have been in the field. The mission had been quick, precise. Like most of his hunts, there had been no hesitation. Adrian Ravencroft, the creature formally introduced itself, its tentacles extending like a grotesque bow. Though I suppose the name doesn't matter much anymore. A sound behind called his attention, making the hairs on his neck rise. Zhao didn't need to turn completely to sense the massive presence behind him. His instincts, though exhausted, warned him of the danger even before he shifted his stance. The Shadow Stalker male rose in the darkness, its white body reflecting the scarce light, but its eyes glowed with the same sickly purple that pulsed beneath the aberration's white skin. Surprised, Adrian's tentacles undulated with savage pride. 3 years looking for this. 3 years since you tore my son apart, like he was just another name on your list. Zhao maintained his position, his silver feathers gleaming faintly while evaluating the situation. The Shadow Stalker male moved in an unnatural way, as if invisible strings were pulling it like a puppet. It was a reconnaissance mission. Adrian's voice grew deeper, more bestial with each word. His first mission. There wasn't even supposed to be combat. The tentacles began moving more erratically, some drawing dangerously close to Zhao, who couldn't afford to waste energy. Not yet. Each movement had to count now. But the great Hunter of Yano never lets his prey escape, right? Purple veins pulsed beneath the creature's white skin, no matter if it's an experienced warrior or a frightened boy. The Shadow Stalker male took another step closer. Zhao could feel its mana absorption ability. In his current state, a single touch could be fatal. So I studied every report, every sighting. Adrian extended more tentacles, their tips gleaming wetly in the moonlight. I learned about your patterns, your roots, your precious territory. The Shadow Wolf Heiress. He spoke while studying Zhao's movements. That's my mission. And Klein's group, if possible. Zhao noticed something in the creature's chest. Where the faces merged, there were marks of pain, as if the union had been forced. The flesh around the fusion points was raw and pulsing, speaking of recent and violent transformation. A traitor noble from your beloved Yano pays well for this mission. Very well. And when I learned the target was in your territory, it was the perfect opportunity. The tentacles tensed like coiled springs. 2 birds, 1 stone. The mission and revenge. Revenge? Against the executioner and not those who gave the order? And your subordinate? Asked Zhao, his eyes studying every movement. Was he also willing to be part of your revenge? Marcus wasn't my only son, Hunter. Adrian's voice grew deeper, more bestial with each word. And some still live. The implication was clear. Hostages in Yano, ensuring his loyalty through the most brutal means. You know, Marcus cried. That noble told me in the report you said he cried and begged, but you didn't even hesitate. Zhao asked, and your subordinate? Didn't he have a family to protect too? Don't you dare judge me! Adrian's voice distorted further, while his form expanded like a blooming nightmare. Not when you blindly serve corrupt Yano. At least I know I'm a monster. The laugh that followed was a horrible sound, like breaking glass mixed with dying screams. Sure, I killed my subordinate for my goal and became this. But does it matter? Look at us now. Stronger, more perfect. And you. The tentacles tensed while the Shadow Stalker male prepared to attack, its unnatural movements becoming more fluid. You're exhausted, Hunter. Your feathers barely shine. Your mana nearly depleted. Zhao allowed himself a small smile. 3 years studying me, Adrian? You should know that the Hunter of Yano always saves something for the end. The silver feathers began to shine. Die! Adrian's tentacles launched like living spears while the Shadow Stalker attacked from behind, their coordinated assault promising certain death. Zhao counterattacked, his feathers finding and cutting through several tentacles with surgical precision despite his fatigue. The Shadow Stalker male began draining mana from the area. Zhao could feel his energy weakening even faster, each movement requiring more effort. "Why the Shadow Wolf heiress?" Zhao said, launching to cut another assault of tentacles, though more slowly. "What does the traitor noble plan?" "Does it matter?" Adrian released a grotesque laugh. "You'll be dead soon, and she, well, who knows?" The silver feathers cut through tentacles that wouldn't stop coming. Zhao moved between shadows thanks to his silent flight, but each movement was slower, more predictable. "Ready to die, Hunter?" Adrian extended more tentacles, while the Shadow Stalker male closed the circle with its own. Their trap was nearly complete. Another wave of tentacles. More feathers flew, severing corrupted flesh, but Zhao noted with concern that each attack forced him to launch them in specific directions. His options were becoming limited. "Is that all?" Adrian sneered as the tentacles hammered against the feather rain. "Is this the legendary Hunter?" Zhao's feathers began to fall, their gleam growing dimmer with each passing second. The Hunter of Yano finally seemed cornered. "Before I kill you," Adrian said, while the tentacles pressed their attack and the male drained more mana from the area. "Which Yano noble do you think paid for this mission?"
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.